Well, hello everybody. It is right at 1 o'clock, and we are going to go ahead and start getting this webinar going. We're going to give everybody just another minute or two. Anybody that's kind of straggling behind, we'll give them just another minute while they get in there. If you would, if you are here, go ahead and just put hello in the chat and let me know who is here, and see if I've got any customers that are on, and also just know that you guys can hear me, which is really helpful. I got Jason Cardwell. Just saw Jason this morning at the Seymour Area Chamber, so I'm glad to have you, Jason. And Brandy's on there as well. Also saw her at the Chamber this morning. Great job talking about Parkinson's disease. So we really appreciate that information this morning. Anybody else out there? Here, I know I've got looks like Debbie from Lawhorn is one of our customers, so we're glad to have you with us, Debbie. Got looks like Summer is on from Expo Quip, also another customer of ours, so we're glad to have you on here. We'll just give it just another minute or so. Just as a reminder, for those of you that stay through the entire webinar, we will be giving away a $50 Aubrey's gift card. Be a great opportunity to take that favorite someone to lunch or dinner. And so make sure that you stay to the very end in order to be in the running to get that gift card. All right, so with that said, most of you already know who I am, obviously. My name is Thomas Hill. I'm with CD Technology, and we have been in the technology business for 25 plus years. And over the past 10 years, we have specialized in helping small and medium businesses stay productive and stay secure from cyber criminals. And so our goal this year was to put on at least a half a dozen webinars that was going to be useful to our clientele. Of course, last month we did a full webinar on cybersecurity and kind of the biggest trends that cyber criminals are using these days to trick you out of your money. Something terrifying that I just saw on the news was a cyber criminal that went way too far and ended up getting an Uber driver killed. I don't know if anybody saw that in the news, but that's just terrible. And so, we do whatever we can do to stop cyber criminals, and I didn't know that was going to be help trying to stop murder as well, but apparently that's what it's coming to these days. So, anyhow, we have other webinars coming up that we're going to be talking about company culture and automation and lots of things. So be sure to check out our website and register for all of those. And we've got special guest speakers for each one of those. And so we're just very excited to be able to offer this as a value to our clients and other people that just want to listen and learn. With that said, I have got Melinda Thornton with me, and she is with East Tennessee Web Solutions, and she's going to be talking about how to make your website highly productive. Melinda, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Thomas. As Thomas said, my name is Melinda Thornton, and I am a marketing specialist and website designer. And I'm also the founder of East Tennessee Web Solutions, which is formerly known as Mindy Marketing. We're just going through a branding change. But I have 15 years of marketing and website design experience, and it's pretty broad. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of different kinds of businesses and organizations. And I think that's given me a really well-rounded knowledge of marketing and website design. And I've done a little bit of everything, with regard to that. But my favorite work really is related to website design. When we answer the question of how can we create a website that makes our clients look really good, but also works well for them, maybe helps them even with efficiency, makes their lives easier. That is my favorite thing to do out of all the things that we do. And so with that being said, I just want to share what today's layout is going to be. So if you're here today and you are here because you're feeling discouraged that your website isn't getting you the results that you wish it would, then I'm here to just say, don't be discouraged, because websites can change. We can change them, we can update them, we can improve them. And that's why you're here today, right? To learn some things. And so we're going to start out talking about what is a conversion rate, what is a good conversion rate, things like that. Then we're going to move into the top 10 elements of a high converting website. The first 5 of those are going to be related to functionality of your website, and the last 5 are really related more to new principles of communication and content, things that we have seen that work well for our clients. And also just my colleagues. It's not just that I'm using these techniques with our clients, it's also the colleagues of mine that I have using them with their clients. And so it's a combination of research between both of those things. And then we're going to end up with talking about SEO, because SEO and conversion rate optimization actually do kind of go hand in hand, and we're going to talk about that at the end. So first question, what is a conversion rate? Put in the chat if you think it's A or if you think it's B. Is it A, percentage of website visitors completing desired actions, or is it B, the speed of turning physical items into digital items, like a book, making it into an ebook? Excellent. Those of you who have answered A, you are correct. So
we got a bunch of smart cookies on here, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
That's very good. And I figured you should probably know what that is, because that's why you're here. But you may not know the formula for figuring out what your conversion rate is. It's really pretty simple. You're just going to take the number of conversions divided by the total number of website visitors over a given time period. And you can find these numbers in Google Analytics if you really want to be detailed about it and you want to know the exact numbers. There's a place in Google Analytics where you can define what a conversion is, and you can have more than one. And then you can actually see the numbers there. Some of you may just be like, I don't want to get into all that. I just want to see more results, and that's okay too. But if you really want to know the numbers, that's how you would figure that. Globally, the average conversion rate across industries is 3.68%, and a good conversion rate is considered anything above 5%. And obviously, we know why a conversion rate's important. You want to have a good one, because if people are taking those desired actions, it means that they are becoming leads, or they're becoming customers, or they're sharing your information. Either way, it's going to positively affect your bottom line and your return on investment for your marketing dollars. So before we get into the 10 elements that I want to talk about, here's just a quick snapshot of the reasons that visitors leave websites. These are the top reasons. And as you can see with those percentages, this is significant, right? 88.5% are leaving if your website's loading too slowly. 73.1% are leaving if it's non-responsive, right? Maybe it's not mobile friendly. If your navigation isn't clear, 61.5% of those you could lose. I'm not going to read every single one, but you can see that these are significant numbers. And even more significant, 94% of first impressions relate to your site's web design. You have people coming to your website that don't know you. And what kind of impression are you going to give those people? So let's dig in. The top 10 design principles of high converting websites. Now, these are not in order. This is not like most important to least or least important to most. I just numbered them, right? But the first one we're going to talk about is having an intuitive user experience. That just means that people can go to your website, they've never been there before, and it's easy for them to use. They can go through and find what they need. They can use it immediately without thinking about it. And 78% of users say that they're more likely to return to a website with an intuitive layout. So if you think about this, We were just talking about the user coming there the first time. If your website isn't intuitive, you're losing that person the first time, but you're also losing potential return visits from that person that just gave up and left, right? And you can create an intuitive user experience even just by doing simple things, just by eliminating unnecessary elements on your website. Is it too busy? Before you add a component to your website, or maybe when you're evaluating your current website, think to yourself, does this add value to my users? Put yourself in their shoes. And if it doesn't, then you might want to consider not adding it or removing it. Also, you can group related items that have similar functions, like contact information is an easy one. Put all of your contact information together. Use clear and descriptive labels on your navigation. Some people like to try to be kind of creative with their labels because they think it's boring to put the same thing in their navigation as everybody else. But really, you have to make this easy, very easy for your users to understand. Number 2, high quality visuals. So we all know the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it's really true. You can see in this chart over here to the right of your screen that photos and images were the number one visual element that people say they like on company websites. Followed by colors, followed by videos, followed by typography and infographics and animation. So the way your website looks really does matter. Next is mobile responsiveness. So we all know we're thinking phones, right? Tablets, things like that. We want to make sure our websites are designed so that they will function and adapt and display effectively on various devices and screen sizes. But don't forget, it's not just the device and the screen size, it's also the orientation. If someone's on their phone, they're on their tablet, they might be using it, viewing it portrait, or they might be using it with landscape view. And if you're curious what your website looks like on those devices, you can use a tool called LT Browser. You just download it and open it up. It'll be like a browser, just like Google, and you can just put your website in there and select different views, and you can see what it looks like. It's a really handy tool. But mobile is so important. Not just mobile, but all of the different devices, even different kinds of screens related to desktop computers. They all can be a little different size, a different ratio. And according to SEMrush, this is how important, there were 313% more visits on mobile compared to desktop in 2023. That was last year. But you and I both know over the years that's growing. It's been growing for at least 10 years, and it's been steady, so it's not going anywhere, right? Very important. Next is important performance and loading speed. This is one of the top reasons that we just talked about on the previous slide. People leave websites when they're not loading and not functioning properly. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making when they come to me is that they're uploading images directly from their computer or their phone, wherever they're uploading them from, and they're not optimizing them. They're not compressing them. And so you end up having images on your website that are, 1 megabyte or 700, 800 kilobytes, or they're just too large and they weigh down your website. And so it makes it load slowly. If you're curious how fast your website loads, you can go to GTmetrix and you can run a test and see what it tells you. But a quick tip on that, if you want to fix that problem with your images easily, you can upload a plugin that compresses images automatically. So one of them is called Smush, S-M-U-S-H. There's plenty of them out there. If you use Elementor, they have their own image optimizer. But when you upload images, it will automatically compress them. And when you set this plugin up, you can actually ask it to go ahead and compress all of the images that are currently on your site. So you can take care of that pretty quickly. But as you can see from this statistic, for each second of additional page load time, conversion rates decrease by an average of 2.11%. So very important.
Quick question on that.
Yes,
My understanding is as well that if your site loads slowly, Google will actually ding you and make you not come up in their organic search as much. Is that correct?
that is correct. Yes. Load time is something that Google considers in their formula for whether or not they're going to put your website up or someone else's. They will look at that, the load time on your website. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
And then number 5, having a streamlined and engaging conversion process. You want to have a seamless journey. If go to your website, test it, become that client that you hope to get, and just go through the steps. Look for obstacles, look for distractions. Is there anything that's not working or that's just distracting? You also might want to consider gamifying your forms. And you may never have heard of that before, but gamifying basically just means interact with people while they're filling out your form. So you could use headlines to speak to the user during the steps, right? You could say things like, keep going, or you're only one step away from getting whatever it is you're going to get. Hold their hand as they're going through the form and let them know what's next after they submit the form, etc. This is an example of a form that I happened to find online. This form is a gamified form. And you can see here that they've broken the form into 4 steps, and they're visible right here at the top. But they're also, it's a good thing because they're leading with an easy question. You know as well as I do, you don't want to ask for more than you really need because people won't complete the form. But you do need to ask for the essentials and begin with the easiest question you can possibly ask. And some people even start with a cute little question. If your product is related to something that you can, ask a question that is just makes the person want to answer it, it's good to lead with something like that. Okay, next question. Why is your audience coming to your website? Is it A or is it B? Put your answer in the chat. Is it to learn about your business or to solve their problem and fill their need?
Looks like most everybody's saying that it's B.
Yes, and that is correct. B is correct. So how do we solve their problem? How do we communicate with them? This may not be new to you all, this slide right here, but we want to just start with the basics so that we're very clear as I'm going through this. We want to know who our customers are, who is coming to our website. We want to know their problems. We want to know their expectations. What are they hoping to gain? We want to know their pain points. How are they feeling? Are they worried or are they frustrated? Are they dissatisfied? You really need to know, put yourself in your customer's shoes, maybe even ask, some customers, or if you have people on your team who work in customer service, talk to them, ask them what they have the most frequent complaints from the clients that are coming to them. Get those answers. Your customer wants to be helped, and that's why they're at your website. And we want to speak directly to their needs and their feelings. And one of the ways we can do that is by having a clear, concise value proposition. That is super important. It just explains why you should buy from me. Why am I better? What is unique about me? That's what you want to answer. And that can include one or more of the following, which would be a headline or a subheadline or a short paragraph. Visuals are also good if you have an illustration or an image. Those are great ways to convey your value proposition in a positive way. And this is a really good example of that. This accounting firm has led with the benefit, right? They're saying, relax, we make accounting easy. Perfect, right? And then the next part, they tell you what they do. Their bookkeeping, payroll, and tax for small business owners. They follow that up with a short paragraph. It's only a couple of sentences that's just elaborating a little bit about what the benefit is to the user. It's very well done. Next, we want to talk about effective calls to action. These are no surprise. We want to have calls to action, but I think that a few of you, at least some of you, are going to learn some things right here, because this is one of those common mistakes that we see when people come to us with a website. So we're going to linger on this topic for a few minutes. The call to action, as you know, is the instruction that we give to the user that tells them to take an action. And there are two types of those. There's a primary and a secondary call to action. You only want one primary call to action. You want to make it distinguishable. You want to make that primary call to action distinct and look different than the secondary call to action. And also, of course, very easy to understand. Here's an example of what not to do, okay? As you can see, this dentist has 3 calls to action on their website, and they're different, right? All 3 of them are different things they're asking people to do, but they look the same. So again, going back to that principle, just making things easy, making things just very, very simple to understand. We want to have one clear call to action. Now, this website is much, much better. As you can see, they also have 3 calls to action. They have a live chat down here in the bottom right. They have a phone number you could call in the top, and they have the free case evaluation. Obviously, the free case evaluation is the one that's the most important to them. That's the one that they're calling out distinctly, right? Very, very well done here. But that begs the question, does your primary call to action align with what your audience desires? Because sometimes it's just a matter of getting on the same page with your audience. I've seen that happen with clients. Think about what's your primary way that you want your audience to reach out to you, and what's the primary way that your audience would prefer to reach out to you. And something you might want to consider, if you're not already, are things like texting. I specifically have seen this with clients that we have working with us. If different industries are different, the people are different and they want different things. But if you're in an industry where people want to text you, offer it on your website. They can text you just like you have click to call. You can do click to text. Super easy. But you might also want to consider live chat or conversation AI. And these tools are not that expensive, especially if it gives you the return on investment for your conversion rate that you're hoping for, right? If you can double your conversion rate, it's going to more than pay for itself, right? Simple changes like this can result in an increase of 150% or more conversions. And next, no surprise, right? Social proof and testimonials. This is not just social media, though. This is just, making yourself trustworthy on your website. What kinds of things do people want to see to help them to trust you and want to work with you? And this can include customer reviews and testimonials, but it can also include endorsements or partnerships or trust badges, certifications, things like that. Super important to include on your website. We all know how important this is. I mean, this statistics even show 93% of shoppers read online reviews before they make a purchase, and the purchase profitability for a product with only 5 reviews, 5, is 270% greater than the purchase probability of a product without them. And 91% of 18 to 34-year-olds trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. And I think this statistic is also one that just continues to grow every year. We're relying more and more on reviews. But those ways that you can generate trust definitely include those on your website. Okay, so the next thing, this will probably be new material for some of you all, maybe all of you, I don't know, is to include these 5 specific things above the fold. Now, first of all, when I say above the fold, I'm talking about when someone lands on your website, you are the part that they see without scrolling, that's what's above the fold. Okay. And you only have like 2 or 3, I think it's no more than 7, but it's usually more than like 3 seconds to really get somebody's attention and make them stay on your site. So putting these 5 things above the fold can be very, very helpful. So trust, we already talked just a little bit about that. Put some little blurb on the top of your website about your reviews or about your money back guarantee. Whatever it is that you would tell somebody, this is why you should work with me. This is why you should buy my product. This is why I'm more high quality. You want to put something up there that shows them that. And it can be visual, but it can also just be, in your wording. Social proof, testimonials. If you've been featured in a magazine or something, put that up there. If you've won awards, put that up there. Don't hide it in your footer. Don't put it in other places on your website, which you can. I mean, I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying just make sure that you put it at the top where they see it when they first land there. Your value proposition, which we already talked about, needs to be there, clear, and benefit to them is important. High quality visuals. And then if it's applicable to your business, you can use a subtle form of scarcity also. For example, an easy example of this is like if you're a school, you could put, or anything where you're taking applicants, you can put currently accepting applicants. Well, you may say, well, that doesn't seem like a really, urgency, scarcity kind of thing, but it really is because people might be thinking, well, they might not always take applicants, but they are right now, right? So those are all really, really good things that you should include in the top above the fold of your website. Next.
Quick question about above the fold. I feel like I have heard that the average person stays on the website for just like mere seconds. Can you elaborate on how important it is to have those 5 things above the fold because there's so little time that you have
Yes.
to attract their attention?
Yes, that is so true. Really, you've only really got about 3 seconds on average. If somebody is gracious, they might give you 7 if you're lucky. And so when they land on your website, they're only seeing the top part
Right.
before they start scrolling. So if you can actually be creative, and that's what we've done with our clients, is we've just been creative in finding ways to kind of fit it all in there. You can even put little bars like across the top of your website, just a small little banner, a thin one, where you can put details about, a guarantee or whatever it is that you offer your clients. If you have really strong reviews on Google, that's a great place to put that. If you want to, you could also use like a plugin for Google reviews. There's one that's free, but I think the free version only allows you to have maybe 10 reviews on there. And there's a paid version that doesn't cost very much if you want to get all of them. But you can even create a little floating, widget that just sits there on your site. And as they scroll down, it starts right at the top above the fold. And as they scroll down, it stays there. So if you have a bunch of good Google reviews, they can actually see them and click on them at any moment.
But the fact of the matter is, you've got just 3 seconds to
Yes,
to to basically have that customer say, "Hey, I want to find out more." And so
exactly.
if you don't have something on the website that makes them want to find out more, then you've just lost them. So
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And that is why it's so important to put it above the fold because you are so people are looking, right? They're out there looking. They're flipping through websites. They're going to go to yours. And if you don't capture them right then, they're going to go right back out and go to the next competitor. So it's super important, yes, that you get all of that important stuff in there in such a way that they get that information very rapidly. Okay. So last thing we want to talk about is post conversion engagement. This is after they've taken an action, right? You want to use, for example, if they submitted a form, you might direct them to a thank you page. Well, you want to use that thank you page to discuss things that you didn't cover on your website, maybe actions that you want them to take. You want to use this thank you page or the next step to maximize your conversion. You want to continue interacting, right? And here are 6 things that you can do with post-conversion engagement. You can motivate them to explore your brand more. Maybe you direct them to another page on your website, or you provide next steps in the process, or you offer an add-on perhaps to what they just purchased from you. You promote your social media, ask them to follow you or join a group that you might have on Facebook. You can ask them for referrals. Maybe you have them invite a friend, to join them. And you can gather feedback from them. And something to consider here also is automations. Again, automations they can be used without a lot of cost. They can save you time because you're not having to go through all those steps with every single person and make sure that they're followed up with. And of course, they can increase your business amount. It can increase your leads, increase your number of customers, increase your profits. And some examples of that would be you can follow up with a missed call text back. If you're someone who, or your business misses phone calls, well, don't let that happen. You can just employ a missed call text back. And so when that call is missed, that person will automatically get a text message that says, "Hi, this is Nick. I see we missed your call. How can I help you?" And then I have personally seen this happen. Just really, really great results with this, because then they're not losing that call. Because what happens is if you don't answer, if it's a new client or a new customer, they're just going to go to the next person and call them. But if you text them, it gives them the opportunity to text you back and start a conversation. Of course, we all know you've got automated email and automated text message options. You can actually set up like a string of actions that are triggered by different actions and, communicate with them that way as well. Here are some examples. This is an invitation to social media that this company used, where they're saying, okay, join the Facebook group here or follow us here, gives them the links to go to. I thought this one was really creative. They're sending a PDF of some information and they've got a little countdown right here. It's going to arrive in your inbox in this many minutes. And then on the right, they are also asking them for a little bit more information about themselves, which can be useful for you as well. And then this is just inviting a referral. Invite a friend to join this, in this case, the course. You may have something that they could invite friends to join or to buy or whatever. Okay, so another question to wrap it up. Which is more important, conversion rate optimization or search engine optimization? Is it A, CRO and SEO are both vital for online success, or is it B, SEO surpasses CRO because it improves your site's search ranking and attracts new visitors? What are we saying here? You all put it in the chat what your answer is.
I feel like this one's hard, but it looks like most people are saying it's A.
Yes. And those of you who answered A, you are correct. Let's talk about why. So conversion rate optimization and search engine optimization really work together. The search engine optimization part, that's what boosts traffic to your site. So it's getting people there. And then once they get there, conversion rate optimization is what converts more of the traffic to take that action that you want them to take. Now, you need to note that both of these things, CRO and SEO, if you're working on them, they both take time. If you've ever worked on SEO for a website ongoing, you know that you make changes month to month, you track things, you see how it's going. It's the same way with conversion rate optimization. I hope today that you have learned some things that you can take with you and you can employ them even today, as early as today on your website. And just see what happens over time. You kind of tweak it and figure out what works best for you. But they work together, and neither one of them can be more important than the other. And if you are curious about how your website is functioning, you're welcome to go to the website etnwebsolutions.com/audit and just run a quick audit. You'll get it in about 15 minutes or so. You'll get an email and you can open it up and see how your website is scoring on that. You're welcome to do that if you would like. And I am going to be emailing everybody a thank you for coming. I appreciate that. And I'm going to email you all a PDF that has a list of words and phrases that can skyrocket your website conversions. They are powerful words that you can use for your calls to action and in other places on your website. You can look through there and figure out which ones are most applicable and fit best for you. And I really hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've gained something from it. And certainly if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on this screen right here.
So yeah, if anybody has any questions right this minute, go ahead and put them in the chat. While we're waiting for that, just to let everyone know, at the end of this webinar, we will get a recording of this and post it to our website. And so if you want to rewatch it, or if there's anything in here that you missed that you don't quite understand, you can definitely double check on that website. Obviously, you can reach directly out to Melinda, and she would be happy to help you as anywhere that she can help with it as well. And of course, she's offered a lot of really great free resources on here. In fact, we just while I was sitting here listening, I did a quick speeds test at the GT Metrics place, and so our website actually got an A. So I'm kind of happy for that. Anyway, last call. Does anybody have any last minute questions? Otherwise, we're going to be picking the winner of our $50 Aubrey's gift card. So last call for any last questions. Melinda, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. Really some great information, and I'm really pleased to share this with our customers and our community. And with that, it doesn't look like anybody has any questions. Melissa has gotten back to me, and she has put all of the names into a hat, and she has pulled out Brandy Ball as the winner of the $50 Aubrey's gift card. And so, Brandy, we will be getting that gift card to you. We really appreciate everyone hanging in there and listening and learning a little bit. And again, if you would, check out our website at cdtechnology.com/webinars for a full list of the webinars that we're going to be presenting throughout the summer. Like I said, there's a lot of really great topics. We're bringing in some really great speakers. If you can think of a topic that you'd really like for us to talk about, please email that to me. So if there's and it doesn't have to be technology related. I'm just all about small business in general. And so if there's some sort of a small business topic that you'd like to for me to find an expert on that can kind of talk about that, I'd love to present that in our webinar series. So anyway, Melinda, you make it a great afternoon, and for all of our listeners, you all make it a great afternoon as well. And we will see you all again next month, hopefully. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye now.